Io le risposi, Ciaco, è il tuo affonno, mi pisassi callegrima in vita, ma dimmi se tu sai a chi vernanos le cittadini della città partita, se al convio giusto i di mala cagione, perché la ha tanta discordia la salita, i quel amme, dopo lunga tensione, vernana al sangue, e la parte selvaggia cacciachira, l'altra con molta affezione, poi ha preso convien che questa cagia, infratra sole, e che l'altra sormonte con la forza di tal che testa peagia. Altra tre lungo tempo le fronte, tenendo l'altra sotto, gravi pisi, camo che di cio pianga occhi na, onti, giusti son tu, e non vi sono antisi, superbia, invidia e avarizia sono le travelle che hanno gli cuori accese. The opening of Canto 6 builds upon the Dante use of the poet's technique of rapid moral divisionism, first mentioned in Canto 5, and through the story of the two lovers and in-laws, Paula and Francesca, which their relationship was incestuous, and in lines 4 to 7 he references nuovi tormenti e nuovi tormentati, highlights the different punishment faced by the new group of sinners. In Canto 6, lines 7 to 9, Dante mentioned his entered circle of hell, and he described this circle as a desolate and unchanging realm designed by the cold, heavy, and accursed rain that falls relentlessly without ends. The perpetual storm embodies the torments and hopelessness of the circle, and its unvarying nature reflects the eternal punishment inflicted upon the souls confined there. From the lines 13 to 32, we have description of the monstrous beast Cerberus, which Dante and Virgil encounters in line 13, based on the Martinez and Duolingo notes Cerberus as the three-headed dog in Greek mythology, the guardian of the entrance of the Hades. In lines 28 to 30, Dante highlights Cerberus' obsessive focus on devouring food thrown to him, portraying a nature entirely driven by insatiable appetite and hunger. This behavior directly reflects the sin of gluttony, symbolizing the soul's own excessive indulgence and lack of restraint. In line 37 to 42, one of the souls recognizes Dante and rises as he passes, indicating that the sinners identify him. And basically in line 41, the soul asks Dante if he recognizes him. However, due to soul's punishment, Dante is unable to recognize him, as described in line 43 to 45. In lines 46 to 59, we have Dante asked Chaco to tell him who he is, condemned to such a terrible and agonizing place, suffering a punishment that, while others may be harsher, but not compared and repulsive than his. In lines 49 to 51, Dantes begin to treat a significant theme centered on Florentine political affairs, highlighting his deep engagement and personal involvement in the political dynamics of his city. In Canto 6, we have line 50, the phrase Trabuco el Saco, metaphorically reflects the sin of gluttony, while also serving as a critique of Florence moral and social declining the overflow sac implies excessive and overindulgence, mirroring the punishment of the glutton souls who endure eternal faulty reign as a consequence of their earthly indulgence. Through this imagery, Dantis highlights not only physical gluttony but also Florence's insatiable greed of his power, wealth, and influence, which has led to the city corruption and internal strife. Chaco's prophecy further reinforces this metaphor and underscores the broader theme of social decay and the destructive consequences of unchecked moral and political excess. The sin punished in the circle of gluttons, one of the sinners who speaks with Dante in this entire canto from the circle, which his name is Chaco, that he's mentioned in line 52 and 53. He's that in those lines in 52 and 53, the sinner reveals and identifies himself as a Florentine citizen, saying that he was known among the people of Florence as Chaco and is now condemned to this torment as punishment for the serious sin of gluttony. In this passage, the sin refers to as gola, the medieval term of gluttony, and gola in Latin. And the line between 55 to 57, the sinner Chaco underscores the justice of the punishment in Dante's framework, those who commit a similar sin endure the same fate. The final line, I più non fio parola, and Chaco said nothing more, suggests a resignation to their eternal punishment, reflecting the despair and finality of their condition in the hell. And the main characters in Canto 6 are Virgil and Dante and Chaco, but basically this conversation occurred between Dante and Chaco. This Canto, particularly line 58 to 75, highlights the political divisionism of Florence and the pervasive dominance of violent factionalism. Florence itself emerges as a central figure in the narrative, embodying the theme of conflict and partisanship. Canto 6 begins with a pivotal passage signifying for containing the first prophecy of Dante's exile in 1302. Throughout La Commedia, Dante reveals his profound connection to Florence, using the work as a reflection of his personal ties and commentary of the city's political and social turmoil. In the lines 55 to 57, Chaco tells Dante that he was not alone in his misery, explaining that everyone has faced the same torment for committing the same sin. With that, he felt silence. In lines 58 to 59, Dante expressed his profound sorrow and his pity witnessing the Chaco's suffering, state that he deeply burdens him and moves him to the tears, reflecting his empathy and emotional response to the torments of the damned. In the lines 58 to 59, Dante asks this three important questions. The first question is: Si tu sai a chi vernano licita dinti la città partita. Second question is: Se alcun vio giusto. And the third question: I dimmi la cagione per chi la ha tanta discordia salita. Balluni knows that the divided city of verse 61 is the implication culminated in Inferno 28, where we find the last member of the Cantos catalog, the famous Florentine citizen that all is the inhabitants of the hell, which is Farinata, Tigaio, Arrigo, Jacopo Rostagio, and Musca, where we can find all of them except Arrigo. For your reference, see Cantos 10, 16, and 28, which we find those famous Florentine citizens that now they are in the different circles of hell. This question reveals Dante's deep concern of his city, Florence, and his future. Chaco responds in line 64 to 32, describing the aftermath of the long-standing conflicts between the white girls and the black girls. He recounts the violent civil war in the Florence, the shedding of power, the eventual corruption that led to Dante's own exile. The Guelph and Kipling's were two opposing faction. Medieval Italy, with the Guelphs supporting the papacy and the Ghibellines siding with the Holy Roman power. In Florence, after the Guelphs defeated the Ghibellines, the Guelphs split it in two factions, the whites and blacks, primarily over differing views on the papal influence. The whites, led by fierce Viridi Circi, opposite the papal differences, and were supported by farmer Ghibellines and middle class guild members. The blacks, led by Corso Donati, aligned with the Pope and were backed by the Guelph magnates and the disenfranchised populace. According to Duolingo Martinez in line 65, La Parta Silvagia referred to the white Guelphs, the faction to which Dante belonged. La Arta referred to black Guelphs, the white Guelphs. La Parta Silvagia is called because its Nicholas to Sergi family was originated from a rural area outside of Florence, and the blacks, largely led by Corsinati, rioted violently on May 1st, 1300 in June, while Dante was one of the 6 prior of the city, the chief executive member committee during the temporary dominance of the white party. The troublemaker of the both parties were exiled, including Dante's close friend and fellow poet Guido Cavalcanti, a turbulent member of the white factions. And in June 1301, all the black leaders were exiled as well. The key term in the passage is found in line 63, discordia, which means discord and supplies divisions, and the strife in opposite of concordia, signifying harmony and unity, representing what the Florence rank during the turbulent period. Line 67, Chaco forces the falls of current ruling faction, poi appresso conviene che questa cagia. With that, Chaco tells Dante within 2 years this political faction will lose its power and face a complete downfall. And based on what's happened over that part of the black Guelph sees the power inside the white Guelph, he then predicts the rise of a new faction. He described in line 68 to 69. Che la trasformonte con la forza di tal chi tisti piaggia. And based on that, the black Guelphs will rise to power, supported by an individual. It remains on the sideline, awaiting the opportune moment to intervene. Martin the dwelling north con la forza di tal chi tisti piaggia referred to Pope Boniface VIII. While he was initially appearing impartial, Boniface secretly supported the black Guelphs faction, and Florence 1301 both decided to appeal to him, make peace. He sent Charles of Valois, a brother of French king, to Florence under the guise of being a mediator and a peacemaker. Charles, after gaining entrance to the city with an armed force, supported the black Guelphs in their violence against the white, many of whom were killed, were after fleeing into the exile in early November 1301. The Black Victory began in the spring of 1302, was completed by the fall. Thus, in Frateresole from the spring of 300, they dominated Florence during the rest of Dante's lifetime. Dante was exiled from the Florence on January 27, 1302, after being charged with corruption and fraud by the victorious black Guelphs. At the time, he was at the Rome representing the white Guelphs at the papal court, refusing to pay the fine associated with the sentence. Dante was condemned to perpetual exile with a threat of execution if he returned. This even deeply affected Dante's lifetime. As he was exiled during the period, the political betrayal and the Florentine descent into discord had a lasting impact on Dante's work and Evolve's view, influencing much of his La Commedia. Balloni reminds us that in Dante's era, Florence faction more like an independent state. than just a city in the modern sense. When Dantis refers to Florence as a city, he talks about the larger political entity where he once served as a citizen politician before being a village exiled. Inferno Canto 6 reflects on the event that led to his exile to bring attention to the key players of Roman political chaos: the white Gauls who supported the emperor's authority, the black Gauls who sided with the Pope, and the Pope beneath ate himself. Dante used subtle symbolic language to describe these factions and their power struggle. On line 73, Jaco tells Juus sundo isun vies in tese. There are two righteous individuals, yet their voices go unheard, and no one pays them any attention. Basically, according to dwelling Martin Jago does not specify who these particular are, but the commentators and the critics are often interpret one of these figures as Dante himself, reflecting his role as a moral wise and critic of Florentine corruption. In line 474 to 75, Dante introduced the three significant keywords: Suburbia, Invadia, and Venezia. These three voices are described as the most rooted cause of influence Florence discourse. Dante's first alluded of this voice in Canto 1 during his attempt to ascend the Purgatory Mountain. In the passage, he encountered there's three symbolic beasts: the lion is Suburbia, pride; leopard, Invadia, envy; the she-wolf, Avarizia, greed. In Canto 6, Dante used that these three voices are the fundamental cause of the sin. This repetition underscored the significance and the moral framework, suggesting that pride, envy, and greed are the heart of human and societal downfall. Throughout the connection between Canto 1 and Canto 6, Dante presents a cohesive vision of sin origins, linking personal and political corruption, these three destructive forces. Thank you and have a good day.